Hello, we're in Malta, and we're going to do a follow-on from some of the other unpacking videos which I've been doing in England. And on this occasion we're going to discuss two terracotta figures. These have been unpacked because they got to Malta in my absence and they had to be unpacked by customs. So you don't get the unwrapping part of it, but I haven't actually seen these, ever touched them before. I've seen them online, I bought them abroad, but I haven't actually handled them. So we're going to just go through them and I'm going to give you my remarks. This item here behind, this plaster item, is a Willie Apap, A-P-A-P, Willie Apap Bruschetto or maquette, which is Maltese, which I bought in Malta. And that is a handmade item, which has nothing to do with these two items. So we're discussing these two terracotta items. This one here is a large piece of terracotta. The base, I think, has nothing to do with it. I'm going to just look at the bottom. It's a piece of oak. That's a floorboard, perhaps from the 1990s, 1980s. It's been stained down, ebonized, you could say. That's nothing to do with it, but I will keep it with it because it protects it and gives it a better visual impact. This is what I was trying to buy. This is a 1920s or 30s terracotta group, figurine, statue, sculpture. There is a debate about whether a sculpture from mould is a work of art or not, and the prevailing opinion is each is a separate work of art, and that applies particularly to bronzes. If you have bronzes from the same mould, each one is regarded as a work of art in its own right, and that would apply to these. I personally wouldn't ever describe that to a customer as, oh, it's a work of art. It's an original work of art. It's not really what they were trying to do when they made these items. It's a copy of an original, and that's an original. That is a copy, and I estimate that there were 200 of this one made from the mould. The moulds wear and get broken, and they get replaced, and there might be another mould the same, which might have made another 200. So this piece of terracotta is dated 20th of May 1932, and I have no reason to doubt that is an authentic date. It could allude to a factory record where someone later on looked up when it was made. It's only in pencil, or it could have been put on by the factory. I don't think it was put on by the factory. I think someone has just looked it up. And somewhere on here there is a name. I can't remember what it was. There it is. The name is Lejan, Lejan, and that you will find on the internet. There are other ones like this made by these people. Some of them are not terracotta, some of them are glazed pottery, and there's a variety of bookend style or deco-esque sculptures, very of the time. This one has got some dirt on it. It has a scratch. It has minor chips, but it's in quite good condition for a piece of terracotta. It's quite a soft pottery, and I think it's very, very pleasant. I don't think it was part of a pair, and it isn't a bookend. It is just of that nature. It's a standalone, freestanding sculpture. That will be for sale in Malta as soon as I have time to clean it up. The technique of manufacture is interesting. It's hollow. I think it's made with slip casting, meaning the terracotta has been milled and suspended in water, and it's been poured into a plaster mould, and the excess has been poured off once enough of the slip set against the plaster mould. It's Italian homemade teapot, homemade vases, other than the handmade ones, of course. So what they did is they would have got this out of the mould. They will have perhaps added some other features which didn't easily fit in the mould, and they will have added definition when the terracotta was soft, for example, in between the fingers. I think that the name would have been in the mould in reverse. Okay, I think that's a lovely thing. I think I'll talk to them about it. This is a fantastic piece of pottery. This is a wolfhound of some sort, a dog. That is French. This one I think is French as well. This one is signed J. Merculiano. I think that must be Italian actually. I'll have to look him up. So we have probably Italian or French terracotta dog. This also is hollow, and I think it will have been made with slip cast pottery, and this has more evidence of finger mark. So what they've done is they've perhaps poured in the slip casts, sloshed it around, and added a little bit more mass to it. You can see finger marks in here, and they have impressed this. That's not come out of the mould. That mark has been impressed as a number, which has been impressed. And I think what they've done is they've gone over the sculpture and they have added the detail, which is far in excess of the detail you can get out of a plaster mould. So I think you have a hybrid manufacture. It's got a very good patina. It looks antique. It hasn't been varnished or anything. It just is, I think, an organic patina. It's a large piece of terracotta. Again, it hasn't been damaged. It's very good quality. Beautiful, clear name. I don't suppose it was made by the actual original artist. I think it will have been put on as an attribution, of course. Lovely. Again, that will be for sale in Malta. That has more of a factory look. That has much more of an artisanal, handmade look. And again, the detail is far greater than that one there. I think it's a lovely thing. From each side, they haven't bothered to skimp on the back. It has a rusticated base all the way around. This is not a deco item. This is probably not 1900. I would estimate in origination. I think that it's possible that it was made after 1900 because they have the casts. Of course, they can be made later. So that could have been made 1910, 1920 on a 1900s design. That design isn't going to predate 1920 or 1930. That's going to be what was a contemporary sculpture. So we have sculpture, terracotta. I think it's very pleasing. Bronze is great, but it's quite dark. It's quite dour. It has the funerary aspects. It can look a bit gloomy. The plaster item here is bright and cheerful, but it's brittle, and it will get dirty if it's not put somewhere by the next buyer. It will attract dirt, so that can't be washed at all with water. If you wash that one with water, it just disintegrates. These can be washed with water and soap, but I think that they're cheerful. I think the material is in vogue at the moment. I think they can go in a formal setting, and I think they can also go, because they're terracotta, in an informal setting. Thanks very much for having a look.